Presigned URLs grant time-limited access to S3 objects without having to update your bucket policy. A presigned URL can be used to upload or download an object from an S3 bucket. This does not require the other party to have AWS credentials or permissions to access the S3 objects. In this video, let's explore about Amazon S3 presigned URLs, how to enable them, and some of the use cases that you can use when building applications. Hello everyone, my name is Rahul and welcome back to this YouTube channel. If you're new here, I make videos on .NET, Cloud and DevOps. This video is sponsored by AWS and is part of my .NET on AWS series. Presigned URLs grants time-limited access to objects in Amazon S3. Now URL can be entered in the browser or by a program to download the object. Now the credentials used by the presigned URL are those of the AWS user who creates the URL. The presigned URLs has an expiration time which you can specify when generating the URL, and the object can no longer be downloaded after the expiration time. So let's head over to Amazon S3 console and see how we can generate a presigned URL from within the console UI. After that, we'll also learn how to generate it programmatically and see some use cases on when to use them. So let's navigate into one of my buckets here where I have an existing file. So if I navigate into this file and go to the object actions, you have an option here to share with a presigned URL. So let's click that. This prompts up a dialog to specify the time interval for this sharing. So this can be in minutes or in hours. So let's specify 1 minute and create a presigned URL. The URL is generated, so let's copy the presigned URL to the dashboard. Let's open the browser in private mode and enter the URL that we just copied. And let's navigate to it. You can see that this is an image and I'm able to access this file. Let's also keep a copy of this file for later use. So let's paste it in here. And you can see here that the URL also has a lot of information inside it after the brace URL to the S3 object. So you can see here, security token is passed along with the URL, which is giving access to this viewer for this specific object. Now this token also has the information of the expiry, so this will get expired automatically after 1 minute. We'll see that later in this video. Let's navigate to an application which I have here in .NET, which is an ASP.NET application, which has an existing endpoint that streams upload files to S3. Now, we earlier saw this in a YouTube video where I showed you how to stream zip files from S3. You can check out that video linked here and in the descriptions below. Since we have all the S3 configurations wired up and set up for this application, let's go on to create a new endpoint to generate a presigned URL. So first we'll generate a get URL just like we did from the console, and then we'll generate a put URL which will allow us to upload files to S3. So let's create a new endpoint. So let me paste in some boilerplate code for the template. So here we have the get presigned URL endpoint, which takes in a string key. This is the Amazon S3 object key that we want to generate a presigned URL for. So let's use the S3 client that is injected into this controller function to generate the presigned URL. So let's use the S3 client dot get presigned URL sync. Now you can pass a new request inside this, which is the get presigned URL request. So let's create a new instance of this request and pass in the required parameters. So in this case, we need a bucket name. So I'm going to specify a same bucket that already exists in my account. We need to specify the key that is required to be generated. So we pass in the key. So let's pass that on to this request object. We also need to specify the verb, which is the get, because we are going to use a get request to get the item in this specific case. We also need to specify an expiry. So let's specify the expiry and specify the datetime.utc now. And let's add 1 minute to this. So let's say add minutes and let's add 1 minute. This link is also going to expire in 1 minute after it is getting generated. So let's get this URL. So let's specify this as presigned URL and let's make sure to await this call. Now let's return back to this data. So let's create a new inline object and specify the URL is equal to the presigned URL. Now we have generated the presigned URL. Let's run this and see this in action. So we can put a breakpoint in here and debug this application. The application is running, so we have the two endpoints. Let's navigate to the get presigned URL, try it out, and let's copy and paste this key name. So let's copy this and paste it in here and let's click execute. Now this is going to hit our breakpoint in our application. So it's going to make the call to this bucket, passing in the key and with the verb HTTP get and also the expiry time. So let's step over this, and this is getting the pre-signed URL. So let's return this to the browser and let's navigate to that URL. So let's copy this whole URL again and let's navigate to this. Let's go to a new incognito tab. Make sure to remove the extra quotes and navigate to this URL. And you can see here, we again see the image that we have uploaded. So we have successfully generated a pre-signed URL that can be shared to anyone to see this file. Now let's see how we can upload an object to S3 using pre-signed URLs. So let's navigate back to our application. Let's stop this and let's create a new endpoint. So let's copy this and let's put this in here again to create a new endpoint. Now let's call this as get pre-signed URL for upload, because this is again going to return back a URL that you can use to upload the file. Now you can pass in a key if you want to specify what key that file name should be. So let's leave the key in there and let's generate a URL to upload. Now the only thing that needs to change here is the HTTP verb. Now instead of get, we are going to use put because we are going to create a new file in this case. Now this also has an expiry and this URL can be used only until 1 minute. So you cannot upload a file after 1 minute using this URL. Now once we have the pre-signed URL, we can use this to upload. So let's run this and see this in action. So we have the Swagger UI running and we have the third endpoint that we just created. So let's navigate into this and let's try it out. And let's specify a key file. So let's specify test upload as our key. We can also pass in an extension if required. So let's specify this as a PDF file and let's upload this. Now let's execute this, which is going to generate us a URL that we can use to upload. So let's copy this URL. And now we need to create a post request to this URL so that we can upload the object. So I have created a small sample UI using the help of ChatGPT to upload this file. Now this requires a pre-signed URL and it will choose a file and then upload that using this pre-signed URL. So let's paste in the URL that we copied inside here and let's choose a file. In this case, let's choose test.pdf and let's click upload. Now, in this specific case, it throws an error and it says failed to fetch. This is because if you go to the network tab, you can see this is throwing a course origin error. So now this specific website is throwing course error because it does not have the course config specified on the S3 to allow this to talk to that specific endpoint. So to add the course configuration, we'll need to navigate to the S3. Let's navigate to the bucket and let's go into the properties and let's update the course. Let's navigate to the S3 bucket and let's go to the permissions tab where you can scroll down and edit the course configuration. So let's edit this and let's paste in the configuration that's required. So for now, I'm going to allow all origins and I'm also going to allow all headers and the methods put and post on this config. So let's click Save Changes, which is going to add the course config to this specific S3 bucket. Let's navigate back to our pre-signed URL upload and let's click Upload again. Now this is going to fail because it's been over a minute since we have generated this URL, which means I'll have to go back to the Swagger UI, click Execute, generate a new URL, and let's copy this again and let's paste this inside our upload URL. So let's remove this and let's paste in the new URL and click Upload. Now this time the upload is successful, and if I navigate to the S3 bucket and the objects, and you can see the test upload.pdf file is right over here. Now this website is nothing but a simple website that ChatGPT has generated for me, which is having the upload file function that reads the file from the file selector and it uploads to the URL that we specify by passing in the put as the method and the body as the file. And it also specifies a content type and it then listens to the response. So this is simply making a put URL request to this specific pre-signed URL that we pass it with. If you navigate back to S3, you can see that the file name was, however, test_upload.pdf, and it wasn't the test.pdf, which is the actual file name. This is because I specified the key as test upload. So it's just overriding the file name with that specific key. Now, if we navigate back to our source code in .NET, you can see we had an existing endpoint which was to stream the upload from this server. Now, in this case, when you use this specific endpoint, the file that is getting uploaded is passing through our web server. So the object has to be uploaded to our server, which then has to upload to S3. So if I put a breakpoint here and run this, and if I choose the file to upload in this stream upload file, so let's navigate to the Swagger UI. Let's click the stream upload, try it out, and choose a file. And let's choose the same PDF file and click execute. Now, in this case, the entire content of this file needs to be streamed through our server. So you can see the file upload request has come here, and we have the actual file bytes being read and relayed back to S3 to upload. However, with pre-signed URLs, we just generate the URL directly to upload to S3, and the file bytes is being directly streamed from the client to the S3 server. So it does not pass through our server. This is quite helpful when you have to have large uploads from user files and they can directly upload to S3. Now, in this endpoint, since this is already taking in a key, application can use this to generate a pre-signed URL and automatically upload to that. So I have also generated a different variation of this specific pre-signed URL file, which actually chooses the file and simply calls the get endpoint to generate the URL and then uploads it to the S3 pre-signed bucket. So let's make sure our application is running. Let's put a breakpoint in here in the get pre-signed URL for upload, and let's choose a file in this case. Now let's choose one of these images and let's click upload. Now, in this case, it's first going to hit our endpoint, which is the get pre-signed URL for upload, passing in the key of the file name. So you can see the file name that I used is being passed in here to generate a pre-signed URL. Now, once this has the pre-signed URL, this is going to use that to upload it to S3. So if I open the network tab and do this again, you can see this is first hitting the get pre-signed URL, which we have created, and it's then using the URL from that to upload to Amazon S3. So you can see these are the upload requests to directly upload to the Amazon S3 bucket. Now this code is very similar. So if I navigate into that, we have the upload file. However, in this case, this also has an API endpoint, which for now I have hard coded in here, which is the localhost 5191, which is the get pre-signed URL for upload endpoint. So this is using this, passing the key to that specific URL, getting back the pre-signed URL and uploading this to S3. So in your application, if you have upload file dialogues like this, you can use that to hit the upload endpoint URL to automatically generate the pre-signed URL and then use that to upload files into the bucket. Now, if these files are being uploaded for a specific user, you can also prefix these specific keys so that it is bucketed under a prefix key. So if I come here and modify this key, so let's specify a prefix. So let's specify in this case Rahul, which is my username / and then also let's specify the key that is being passed in using string interpolation. So let's run this again. So any files now that is going to be uploaded will have the prefix Rahul /. Now the UI acts like a directory when you see in S3. However, there are no directories in S3, but it is just part of the name. So if I navigate back to this and upload this again, this is going to upload the file again into this specific S3. So let's remove this breakpoint and let's click F5. Now, if I navigate into S3 and refresh this, you can see a folder Rahul. Now, this is not a folder actually, it's just part of the key name. So if I navigate into that, you can see all the files that is going to be nested under this. So let's upload one more file. So let's click choose a file. Let's choose another image from here and let's click upload. Now this is also going to be prefixed with Rahul. So if I come back here and refresh this again, you can see we have two files which has the prefix Rahul _. Now if you want to find all objects by prefix, you can simply specify Rahul / and it is going to give you all the objects that has Rahul as a prefix. Now, if you want to view back this file, we can copy this entire key. Let's navigate back to our Swagger UI, use the get pre-signed URL, paste in the key, and let's click execute. Now, this is going to hit the execute and generate the URL and return to us, and we can navigate to this specific URL. So let's copy this. Let's open this in a private window, and let's navigate to this, and we can see the image in here. Now, the original URL that we copied, which we had pasted in a notepad. So let's copy this Now this URL would have expired by now, so let's navigate to a new tab and let's navigate to this. Now in this case, you can see we get the access denied error and it says this is expired on this specific time. So you can no longer access that file with that URL. A new URL will have to be generated if you need access to that specific one. I hope this helps you to get started with pre-signed URLs and start using this in your application. This is very beneficial when you want to directly interact with the client and avoiding the information being passed through your server. This is still secure because it has a timeout expiry and you can use your application to just automatically generate it like we saw in the example to upload the files directly to S3. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. If you want to be notified of future such videos, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It also helps me to grow this YouTube channel. Thank you and see you soon in the next video.